the meeting back to order. At this time, we will move into citizens' comments. This is the only time during the meeting we will accept comments from the public. Please come forward and state your name and address clearly. Keep your remarks free of obscenities and personal attacks on the person at the podium may speak. No interruptions from anybody in the audience, please. Anybody like to come forward and say anything?
This has never been more full, I'm sure.
That's you guys.
Please, don't be scared.
That's why we came back out.
Okay, Judy Prince, Bradley, Kansas. I think that you're all aware of the proposed annexation that Mulberry has made to Crawford County Commission. They would like to annex the land that's being suggested for a solar installation. Originally, it was out there that ARMA would get funding for their schools from that installation if it went in, as well as Frontenac getting about 20%, I believe, and ARMA getting about 80%. However, Mulberry, with the proposed annexation, I don't know how that funding will work, but that brings this point to question. Should they be allowed to annex that or not? And personally, I believe it's in the best interest of Frontenac to not let that annexation go through, as Frontenac is closer to that location than Mulberry is. If you needed to do any future expansions in that area, it would no longer be possible once that land is annexed. I've prepared, I believe you already know that tomorrow night Crawford County is having a commission meeting not a commission meeting, but a hearing for the public to voice their opinions. And I believe that Frontenac should have some sort of representation there to try to help stop that annexation from happening. Once it's approved, if it does get approved, from there it becomes a matter of you have to go in and appeal, which can be a long drawn-out procedure. Better to voice your opinions ahead of time. All right, and I have many reasons why, if anybody cares to know. One of those reasons is because the 20 lithium-ion battery storage units that are being proposed have potential of catching fire. If that happens, that's closer to your fire department than it is to Mulberry. Even a combined effort would not be able to put those fires out. Those would be spewing hydrogen fluoride and hydrogen cyanide into the air of your lovely community, and we don't want that to happen. So that's just one of the many, many reasons. So I will let other people speak now.
Judy, what did you say your address was? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I live at 428 South 190th.
Thank you.
In Bradley. Thank you.
Hi, Paul Chrisman, 855 East 610th Avenue, Pittsburgh, which is in Frontenac School District. Although I live in the city limits proper, myself and my neighbors that are here tonight, we do pay property tax to support the school district Frontenac, and that's what I want to address with you guys tonight. Part of the issue is that orderly development. That's part of the process that the county will take up this week, and probably you guys should think of that too, in my opinion. There's opportunity for Frontenac to continue housing development in our neck of the woods. We've had significant growth in the last several years. There's another development starting now, but if the city of Mulberry does the spot annexation, then, in my opinion, and all my neighbors' opinions, it will limit the ability to market more homes, which means more houses for the city of Frontenac, school district of Frontenac, and we can have more people more students that are actually in district attending school than out of district. So that's a significant financial gain for the city of Frontenac. As the last speaker mentioned, fire protection. The city of Mulberry has zero potential to any fire mitigation if there was to be a fire. Additionally, I haven't seen it in writing, but I've been told last night the city of ARMA had passed a resolution that they will not support Shasta, which means that City of Frontenac will be called upon. And does the City of Frontenac need more fire protection as far as equipment, different types of truck, different type of technology, and what kind of training, and then what kind of hazard do you put your firefighters in? So I guess in conclusion, I think this would be detrimental to the school district of Frontenac. That's it. Thank you.
Becky Willard, and I live at Girard, and this may not seem like it affects me, but it affects this entire county. This entire state of Kansas is watching us tonight and tomorrow night what happens, because it's going to affect the entire state if this spot annexation, island annexation isn't stopped. Cherokee, Kansas is going to do it if Mulberry gets to do it. Hepler and Walnut are going to do it. I live at Girard. I don't want a Mulberry address. I'm happy with my address now. But I was in Arma last night at the fire meeting, and they did have a motion and voted unanimously that they will not be involved in supporting Shasta or any of thing that's going on. They were not even aware of the newspaper article last week where Shasta promised to buy a brand new fire truck for Mulberry, but it would be housed in Arma. They've never been approached. The city of Arma's never been approached. It's the first they were hearing of it. And they don't have the means, they don't have the money. This fighting fires, you guys know, is super expensive. Arma itself last year had over 1,000 calls, and some of those are just picking somebody up or whatever. They go to all that sort of thing. They have the 69 highway, all the wrecks and things there. They do not have the kind of manpower or the money to back up being locked out of 1,700 acres and expected to fight the fires, because that's what this is. It'll be like 9/11 all over again, and no one's health is worth this. Whether you're living in those houses right beside this or you're across the county, it affects every single person in this county what happens. And I think Frontenac is the only town in Crawford County that has it going on. You guys are growing. You are getting new things. You are making jobs. You just don't have enough homes for everybody that wants to live here, because you are the #1 place that people want to move. Your schools are amazing. The people are amazing. Your businesses are amazing. Why wouldn't people want to live here? You're out of the big city of Pittsburgh, but you're not in the country either. You can be rural, and you guys have a long ways you can grow to the north, but I don't see you growing to the south or the east or the west. There's nowhere to go. North is your area to go. And I would rather see a couple roads put through each of these properties and sell off lots for housing and take care of a lot of problems than a company. This company is out of Oregon. When we look up their address, it looks like an empty strip mall. It doesn't seem like a physical thing. They will not be putting these solar panels up. They only get the leasing and they get some financing and they sell it to the next person. It's already at the deed office. They were in Shasta's name in the deeds on the property owners. They are now in something called High Point Solar, which appears to be a subsidiary of them, probably so they can collect more of our tax money, because they're getting subsidies and they're getting different tax credits, which is what they're after for these projects. There's also a solar company in a county nearby that has pulled out, and it's strictly because of hooking onto these big 355 power lines that are coming through. That's the big new ones, the NextEra one. Cost roughly $2 million a year to put their power on those lines. And that power line, they wouldn't pay the $2 million, so they just pulled the whole project out of the county. These guys aren't even that far that they have permits. They have no permitting, nothing. They're just still in the, we're going to do this. We're going to go around the county, because the county is desperately trying to do we have a moratorium. They are working on the plan, what's it called, Judy? The comprehensive plan. They're working on a comprehensive plan. They have a guy from Wichita hired to do it. We're about a year into it. We already have a planning and zoning board. They are frantically working on trying to make some regulations and things for way more than solar and turbines are. It's much bigger than that. And this company has gone to Mulberry to get them to do this, to skate around the county. Now they want to skate around Frontenac and do what they want to do regardless. And it just isn't in the best interest of anybody in this county and anybody in this city, or the rural areas of any of it. Does anybody have any questions? I'm 20 months into this. I can keep you busy for 2 hours talking, if you so desire. But anybody have a question? Something you want to know about? I'm not an expert on Shasta, but we've looked into it enough that it's not a positive thing. They're not financially backed by anything in particular, and they just float for a project. They have claimed to have 5 projects going on right now. You know how many are out there in the Quince? 0. They do not exist. It's all secret if there's anything going on, but it's not registered in the state of Kansas for any projects. I don't think we want to be the guinea pigs.
I don't have any questions.
Anybody? Nope? Okay,
We mainly
thank
wanna
you.
listen.
Pardon?
We mainly want to listen.
You mainly want to listen? Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else?
You want me to stand up there at the mic, or can I just sit here and talk? Oh, go right ahead, man.
No, you can go ahead.
You may sit there.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
So with Shasta, the information that I've seen. Oh,
Name
my
and
name's
address.
Justin Pryor. I live at 775 East 590th Avenue, Frontenac. But over the last week, I don't have my papers because my kids threw them in the trash. But anyways, with Shasta, they are a private LLC company. And when you start digging in, trying to find out, every company, you want to find out the pros and the cons of a company. They have nothing. There's no reviews, nothing. Not even with the Better Business Bureau. But here's the thing. The whole infrastructure of the United States and in this country is based on petroleum. It's in everything. These wind towers over here in Missouri, it takes a 400-foot crane to put them things up. And it's lubed by petroleum. Petroleum's in everything. And if we go green, even tomorrow, it's going to take us 60+ years to have the infrastructure and the power grid to be able to support all that. And we're behind the times, as they say, with the power grid. And for this company to come in and the reason why they went after Mulberry is because, no offense, it's Mulberry has nothing. And if Mulberry gets this pushed through, it's going to put them on the map. And then there's the bandwagon. But with all the solar stuff and everything that I have tried to research and find out, they do just like this last lady here. They buy up leases. One guy, that's all he did before they started this company, one of the founders of it. Buy up all this ground and get these leases, and they hurry it, flop it to the next person. And I don't think that it would be in best interest for anybody in Crawford County to go with Shasta, especially since there's no history with them at all. I mean, like she said, you're taking a crapshoot. We're going to be the guinea pigs. And even with all the stuff that we got going on, they got a, 25-year shelf life? You're paying on them. They won't even pay for themselves in 25 years. Anybody that's ever had solar, all the people I've ever talked to that's had solar, they'll pay on them and pay on them and pay on them and pay on them. And then, oh, guess what? You got up-to-date technology, new solar panels for that reason. Technology changes at a drop of a hat. But in my personal opinion, and I think the best interest, if Frontenac's going to bloom and expand, I'd say negative on the solar field in any way, shape, or form, because it's going to be bad for business. Because if it was truly good to go green right now, these billion-dollar oil companies would start be doing it right out of the gate. They wouldn't be worried about drilling another well to pump out petroleum. But with all the federal government, they're wanting to get everybody on board so they get the, what do you say, subsidies?
Oh, the subsidies.
Yeah, for next year, for the tax and whatnot. That's all they're after. They're a fly-by-night company. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Oh, yeah.
Phyllis Polnack. My address is 1013 West Perry, Mulberry, Kansas. Not for this, by the way. I was at the council meeting when it was voted on to annex this property. One thing that they really spoke about was the tax revenue. So they're seeing lots of tax dollars, they think. But their plans, number one, they have no plan for infrastructure in this property. Their plan is there's already electric and water there. That's what they said at the council meeting that night. They spoke of fire protection. They said mutual aid. They're not we've got a volunteer fire department. We don't have enough volunteers today to man our volunteer fire department. We can't fight those fires. So it's going to fall on mutual aid. But do we really annex property and that is our plan? Is mutual aid? I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. But and something's already said tonight about the fire equipment that Shasta's going to provide, and they spoke of that at the council meeting, that Arma would house it. I'm sure, I don't know, this is just, and sorry, I've got notes because I'm nervous.
You're fine. You couldn't help.
Another thing is, so the city of Mulberry has 2 police officers. That's all we have. I'm not positive if both of them are full-time or if only one. I don't know. So we currently don't have 24/7 fire police protection, and I don't see how they can police this area either. You know, they also spoke how great it was that we weren't annexing any roads. That way we don't have to maintain any roads. I don't know. So, to me, they're seeing tax dollars, but there's no responsibility. They're not taking on any more responsibility with these tax dollars. This area that they are annexing, if my Google search is correct, in the size of Mulberry, it is 5 times the size of present-day Mulberry. There's no way that they can do this. And I know others have spoke about how it could hinder Frontec's development, and I agree also. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Danny Childers. I am from Franklin, actually. Some of you have seen me in the newspaper, you've seen me on television. I'm a movie star. No, not really. Most of these people that are here are my neighbors. And I live on 620th, and therefore when I look out my door, I see most of their houses. Beautiful places. I look across this and I don't see anything other than beauty. Beauty for our county, beauty for our state. These people have built their houses to live there. They've invested in their futures, building in their houses the same as I have in mine. I'm not here to tell you how bad solar is, because most of us here have already said how bad it is, how bad it isn't. Some of them are for it. I applaud those people. I think that solar has its place. If they want to annex ground that doesn't have anything to do with the place, go annex the desert and put all these solar panels up there where they don't affect anybody. That their fumes don't affect the people that live here. The noise doesn't affect the people that live here. The hindrance of looking at them doesn't affect the people that live here. So I don't see as a city, a Frontenac, that even though I'm from Girard, I've spent most of my life here. Everybody knows about bootleggers. I'm in Pickle Pete's every Friday or at least once a month playing in a band. You know, I mean, this is my home. This is where I hang out. I don't live that far away. Those beautiful houses that are up there, wouldn't that benefit the city more with taxes and annexing the south than letting Mulberry, that's 7 miles away, come in and annex the farm ground? My suggestion to the farmers is trade some rich billionaire out in Arizona your farm ground so we keep farming it and raising crops. And you put your solar farm in Arizona. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Anybody else? Yep, come on.
Good evening. My name is Ann Sanders, and I live at 183 Deer Creek Court. It's a Pittsburgh address, although actually we're closer to Frontenac, and we frequent and patronize Frontenac businesses, church, parks. It's a lovely little community. I don't know why we're considered Pittsburgh. We have a Pittsburgh address. I just want to make it very apparent that as a city council, you are presented with a decision on whether or not to oppose the annexation. Will it cause the town of Frontenac harm? And I think that looking at it, if you're looking into the future and seeing the growth of Frontenac, both in the schools, the housing, you want to be able to have a long-range plan for development, not only residential, but perhaps also business and commercial, perhaps more parks. But you're going to have to be taking the long-term view and looking down the road for your children, your grandchildren. I mean, 50 years down the road, where's Frontenac going to grow at? So, and I think that if you don't oppose it and voice your concerns that this is not in the best interest of your town, then perhaps the county is going to approve the annexation. And you lose a lot of potential growth in that. The other thing is that if they are successful in doing an island annexation, it will then perhaps start territory wars between other small towns who are going to be like, we need to get our piece of land set aside and annexed now before this other town's going to grab it. What's to stop our Pittsburgh County address from being annexed into Pittsburgh? If they know they can add an island annexation, get the revenue from our real estate tax dollars going to their schools. Right now, our address, we actually go to the Northeast School. But if you start one island annexation, you've started the whole ball rolling for other communities to get into a competition so that they can begin to annex areas, so that they can continue to have a larger extraterritorial space to expand into in the decades to come. And that's what it boils down to. It's really a very big question. So I appreciate your concern and your prudence on this. Thank you.
Judy Prince again. I'd just like to reiterate what she just said about the island annexation becoming a snowball effect. That'll happen throughout the whole state of Kansas and perhaps other states as well. So you guys are, like it or not, going to be in focus, so to speak, for the rest of the state. And I would like to reiterate the importance of your attending tomorrow night at the hearing, because Crawford County must make their decision within 30 days of that application for annexation, and they're planning to do that on the 18th of November. The meeting tomorrow night is your one opportunity to present your case against the annexation, which will cause you manifest injury should it go through. As I mentioned before, loss of tax revenues, loss of any potential income from the project if the project does go through, which I'll talk about that in just a second, but also burden to your water and fire department. Shasta, as this other gentleman has mentioned, has already said that their plan is to get this rolling and get all the leases signed and then take off. They will leave another company in charge of the build. We, the Crawford County Commission, all these good people here, you, no one is allowed to see the contracts between Shasta and the landowners, except for their representative and the landowners, the people from Shasta. And again, I invite you to look into that company, and you will find they have actually a 5-star Google rating from their 2 reviews. Okay, that tells you something. So do look into it, do represent tomorrow night, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything? Go ahead.
My name is Derek Van Houten. I live at 223 Country View Drive. It's just off of 610 on the south side of where this project may be. I just wanted you to consider some other, a lot of people brought up some points about future development, but there's also the present development to consider. I believe there's 40 lots that are plotted out there by us that are currently available. I mean, these are $50,000 plus for a lot. So you imagine the 40 houses that will be buying those lots, what it's going to do to the people that have the money to build a house. If they see them solar panels there, they're going to say, we're going to go somewhere else. And then they're not even going to buy those. So this is present day development, not also future, but present. And it's just kind of ironic that our road is called Country View Drive. And now, we don't want it to be Solar View. So that's all I have.
Anybody else?
.512 West Oak in Cherokee, Kansas. Why it's relevant is because, we're watching it closely.
What's your name?
Jacob Cochran, Jacob Cochran. Spoke in front of the county commission a couple weeks back about some of the issues I had with Mulberry and the way they presented themselves. They delivered the paperwork to the county commission. It wasn't filled out correctly. They missed stuff and they sent it back, which is red flag number 1. We hadn't got a map of where this was located. I brought that up. County commission said that's a great idea. Why don't we have a map? Also, there was some issues with some of the information that was being brought forth. What I want to say is, if you're trying to hide something, it's probably not in the best interest of where you're putting it. So far, that's all they've been doing is trying to hide stuff. And anytime you're trying to circumvent the county commission to go around and find a city that is desperate and say things that they want to hear, it's not right. You're really not doing them a good service, especially when we know there's plenty of information about solar companies that bail on their information. Obviously, it's been brought up several times. So we're watching closely in Cherokee. Unfortunately, we're probably on the radar. If this goes through, we're probably on the radar next. And obviously, I'm against it. But yeah, all I want to say is, obviously, you guys do what's right for your constituents, do what's right for your city. Don't worry about any threats that you might be getting or phone calls of people. Do what's right for your city and stuff. So that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Anybody else? Don't wait to be called up. If you got something, come on up.
I got something to say. It's real short because everybody else. DJ Lajadas, 833 East 610.
What was your name?
What was your name?
DJ Lajadas.
Don't try to spell it.
Yeah. Everybody said, I'm not going to say what they said again. And there may be a representative here for the city of Mulberry. I have no idea who's on that council. But if this was very important to them for the tax dollars, wouldn't they be here right now? I mean, they may be here. I don't know. I don't know them. But that's all I have to say because everybody else has said it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think the reason they're not here is they're embarrassed. I'm Glenn Polnack, 1013 West Perry, Mulberry, Kansas. Okay, now concerning sodium ion batteries, they're still in the testing stages. Do y'all know why they're still in the testing stages? You have to go to Chinese websites and such and use methods of interpreting, but what they're telling us is the reason that they're still in the testing stages is while they're great in that they store way more electric than others do, they catch fire way more often. And so I don't think we sure enough want something like that unless they would certainly get that under control. Especially if my town with the house next door to me caught fire. Well, it was deliberately set, I know, because cameras showed the person come up with the stuff, set it on fire and leave. ARMA came over and helped us fight the fire because there really wasn't enough people in Mulberry to assist on the fire department. I appreciated ARMA doing that. If y'all had come, I'd have appreciated that too. But there was enough with them that I don't think they had to call y'all, because mostly is keep my house from catching on fire is the main thing we was worried about. Because the other one, it was an eyesore and time to be gone. They'd already pushed it down, they just didn't push it far enough from my house. But anyway, that's just what I wanted to tell you. And you're welcome to look it up. You're welcome to, and make sure that I'm right in what I said. Because unless in just the last little while, they've made some improvements. China themselves is saying that they holding them back because they're too prone to catch fire. And stuff like that's not just put out with water so easily. We're used to fires that we just take the water and spray it on it. They have to use things more like foam, and those of you that are involved in government, you know about the testing we have to do with the water, at least over in Missouri. The testing that we have to do with the water, because I work in Missouri, and they're saying the foam is, putting things in the water and that kind of stuff. So I'm sure they've got the same problems here in Kansas that they're dealing with, because it all's coming from the federal government, and so I don't think we want a lot of that around my house, and I'm 6 miles away, and I sure feel sorry. I'm in Mulberry. My backyard's, I own some property in the county itself, but they're not even trying to annex my property. They're skipping it and going way over and annexing the backyard of these good neighbors over here at Franklin. And I don't like it a bit. I'd appreciate anything y'all could do to stand against them. Thank you.
Polnack, Polnack.
Thank you so
Everyone
much.
else, and in the interest of time management, if we're not reiterating it, right, but if there's anyone else that would like to speak,
Come on, sir.
I would ask that we don't just keep saying the same thing.
I'm Rick Elnicki. I live at 130 South Highway 69. The 500 acres where I live, I've been paying taxes on that 500 acres for over 40 years. I know you're thinking I couldn't be that old, but I am. I should be able to use this land to benefit my family and the city of Mulberry, which I have roots that go back 100 years, the city of Mulberry. My wife grew up in Mulberry. So I'm very anxious to do what I can to help the city. Now the taxes, not only will the city of Mulberry benefit, but the county, Crawford County, will benefit to the tune of $2 to $3 million the first year. The school district will receive over $1.5 million, the Arm School District. The Frontenac School District will benefit from this. I don't have good figures on what Frontenac, but there's about 10% of the total will be in the Frontenac School District, which is on my property, the 160 acres on the south end of my property. Pardon?
Sir, you said 10% of the total.
Of the total revenue
We'll go to Frontenac.
will go to the Frontenac School Districts. Now, of course, it all goes to the county, and then they distribute it to the school districts, the fire, all that.
But I just, as you were going.
But we're talking millions of dollars of revenue if this solar farm goes through.
When does that start?
It would be a couple years. They'll have 2 years of construction, so it would be at least 2 years before it would be online.
Okay.
Now, I would like to point out that you're talking about your constituents. The majority of the people that spoke are not not residents of the city of Frontenac. But so I hope you consider that. Now, there's a lot of talk about fire. The batteries that Shasta will use will be non-flammable batteries. They're the new technology. The old lithium ion, they're hazardous. They will not be using the lithium ion batteries. They'll be using the new technology, non-flammable batteries. So that's not a concern. As far as expansion, there was a lot of talk about the Frontenac expansion. I owned 90 acres just north of the Frontenac football field. I owned it for several years. I came to the city of Frontenac after I purchased it, and I wanted to do a housing development. I thought, boy, that's an ideal spot right there north of the ball fields, north of the football field. And I had 90 acres. I could have put in 20 family homes in there. And the kids could have walked to the swimming pool. I talked to the mayor at that time, was Jim Kennedy. He said, well, let me talk to the council. He got back to me. He says, well, the city of Frontenac's not going to be able to help you out any. The help I needed was access, because the access to that 90 acres crossed the Kansas City Southern Tracks to the east. And to do a development, you have to have unimpeded access. And so I said, I'd like to use the easement that the previous owner, Greg Favre, of course, Greg Favre donated the land for the football field. We purchased the other 90 acres from him. That easement only covered farm equipment. So I had to get permission from the city of Frontenac to use that easement to access our new development. And I was turned down. The city of Frontenac at that time said, no, we're not going to do that. So I went to the superintendent, who was Rick Smonsick at that time. I said, is there a chance we could come through on some of the school district's property and access that? And I even went as far as saying it would only be used for emergency vehicles. The residents could go out the east side, cross the tracks. It'd be a little inconvenient at times, but I said that would be part of the lot. When they purchased, they'd know that access through the Frontenac property would only be used for emergency vehicles. I was turned down again by the school district. They said, no, we can't do that, or won't do that. So right now I own, and so I gave up on that. After several years of trying to work something out on that 90 acres, I gave up on it and sold the property. I sold it 2 or 3 years ago. So as far as expansion, I mean, there was an opportunity for the city of Frontenac, and they turned me down. Right now I own 250 acres within a quarter of a mile of the city of Frontenac. If you're wanting to expand to the east of Frontenac, is an ideal spot to expand. Not only my property, but other property in that area. So expansion shouldn't be a problem for the city of Frontenac in the future. My property, the only way you'd get to that property we're talking about up on the north end would be, you'd have to go through some other properties which are already developed. Steve Coupland's already developed some, and he went through the county on developing his housing development. Do you have any other questions for me?
You know the type of battery that is non-flammable, what's the name of it?
Lithium iron phosphate. Now, that's just one. They haven't decided for sure. There's others in development. And I'll tell you who's developing is Eagle Pitcher. Of course, they're building a new facility there at Pitt State. We've visited with Eagle Pitcher and some of the Dr. Ram Gupta, who works at Pitt State. He's a world-renowned researcher in battery storage. And so they're working on some new technology, but all of those that they're considering are non-flammable.
But they can do anything they want.
Pardon?
Correct? They could put a lithium ion in there. if they
No, because I wouldn't allow it.
Well, once you sell the property though, I mean, it'd have to.
I'm not selling it, no. We've got an agreement and they're not allowed to put lithium ion. I'll tell you why, because I live there. I've got 3 grandsons that's gonna live within about 100 yards of this, if they do the solar facility. I'd prefer to just talk about the annexation because that's what we're really here to discuss. But I'm gonna live there, my 3 grandsons gonna be there, for decades.
Yeah, generation. I understand.
And I'm not gonna do something that would put them in danger.
That makes sense.
That's pretty well all I have. I just want to warn the city council that be very careful, because if your actions in some way would do harm, you need to be prepared to defend those actions in court. Because this is a big deal.
So I'll ask this question. If there's no concern of fire, then why are these people telling me that they're going to provide a fire truck to station at Arma?
There will be enough, there was concern. There was concern, so Shasta said, look, there's going to be enough money going to the fire district, to the tune of about $300,000 first year, that they can buy a truck. So the money's going to be going to the rural fire district, or if it's annexed, then it would go to Mulberry. So Mulberry would get the money to buy a fire truck. And that was the biggest concern. And I thought that was addressed by Shasta in the Morning Sun this week, because he discussed the fact that they're non-flammable batteries. They haven't decided which technology they're going to use, but whatever they use will be non-flammable.
Would you clarify your last statement?
About non-flammable?
No. The one before
The
that.
perceived threat that you just stated.
Yeah.
Well, I just want the commission to be aware that this is a.
So we don't
We
may
don't
or
have the
may
deciding
not
factor.
say something, it's a commission choice. Has nothing.
Well,
Every
I'm.
action we take has that chance.
You.
Well, I concur. yeah.
You could do something that may influence and cause harm.
For the
I'm just saying,
department, that's why we're-
because-
for our constituents.
Yeah, and I understand that, and I'm just,
Yeah.
and I don't want it to be a threat. It will be a reality if it causes harm, because we're talking millions of dollars. Not only for the landowners, but for the county.
Go ahead.
This is a big deal for the county, to the tune of millions of dollars a year. Both school districts, Frontenac and Arma. The city of Mulberry is going to benefit greatly from this. And they need the help. The city of Mulberry, my wife grew up in Mulberry, and we've still got family there, and they need the help.
I have one question.
Yes.
If this is such a good idea, why did we go around the county? Why did we?
Because of the moratorium. The moratorium has caused delays.
But what's a delay? If you get to the.
Well, they can't start. They can't do anything as long as there's a moratorium in the county. So that moratorium has caused a stall to Shasta. And so that's when we were at a county meeting, Crawford County meeting, and the question was, well, how did the Girard City put in a solar farm? The city of Girard put in a solar farm without getting county approval. And the answer was, a city can do it without. Sorry. The city can do it without approval of the county. I shut it off. But that's it. We had to proceed. We had to make some progress on this. And so this was the best solution.
The county was just going to moratorium for.
They're talking about doing another extension on the moratorium. So.
But it seems like they've been doing their due diligence for 2 years to try to get to a good answer, and for Mulberry to come in at the very last second and say it's a good idea without them doing any investigation at all, just seems.
Oh, no, they did extensive investigation. We've had numerous meetings, and I'm comfortable with the agreement with Shasta. The city of Mulberry is comfortable with it. We've talked a lot about this. Pardon?
I would be fine with it too if it was so far removed. That's what I don't understand. They want to annex your ground, and that's fine. I understand all this. But you're 6 miles away, you're not going to take the roads, you're not going to take any other responsibility.
I don't know about the roads. I'm not privy to that. Okay.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
They don't want any responsibility. I don't want to slow things down, but.
And what was your first question? I had a response to whatever.
When I said you're so far removed, it's 6 miles away.
Well, most of the land that's being annexed has a Mulberry address. It's the closest city to most of the land that's being annexed.
Yeah, like well, but I understand. I just
I have the only property that's not in Mulberry, that doesn't have a Mulberry address.
Oh, so that's yours, just north of 610?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions?
No, sir.
I appreciate you coming.
Oh, one more thing I'd just like to mention also, is there will be sheep. We've already made arrangements to put sheep in there. There'll be grass planted in there, and there'll be sheep grazing under these solar panels. The reason is that's how they are going to, the vegetation will be controlled with the sheep. So, and I'm somewhat involved. The two guys from Frontenac, the Sawley brothers, are interested in buying several ewes to put in there and graze sheep on the solar farm.
I don't have any questions.
Anybody else have anything? Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Do you have something new or?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Phyllis Polnack once again. I was at the council meeting when Shasta representative was there. This is at Mulberry City Council. And he mentioned the batteries. She spoke of lithium-ion batteries. She said their sodium-ion batteries were in the testing stages. That's the only type of batteries she spoke of at the Mulberry City Council meeting.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
This will be the last comment unless somebody has something brand new.
So this is the second time that lawsuits have gotten thrown out. The county got threatened a lawsuit too. I take it personally when big company out of Oregon wants to threaten us in Crawford County. They're threatening you in Frontenac now. You should take it personally. Back to Mulberry, they're going to be the ones setting the setbacks. They've got the regulations. They couldn't fill out the paperwork right. It got to be sent back. Think about that. That's all I got to say.
I just got one thing real quick to say real fast.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, like he said, no more.
We're good.
I have heard the same thing like 6 and 7 times.
Yes, we're good.
And council, I don't know if.
No, I agree. We're shutting her
We're
down.
beating the dead horse.
Thank you.
When will the commission take action on this topic?
If we vote on it tonight. Closing citizens' comments.
Okay, I move that the governing body recess into executive session for attorney-client privilege to discuss property development, excuse me, pursuant to KSA 754319B2, to include the mayor, city attorney, city administrator, city clerk, The open meeting will resume in the council chambers at, let's say, 7:30 p.m.
Got a motion by the House, second by Pat, to move to executive council. All in favor?